Okay, so one thing that people keep asking me is, should I give this unit a dupe or use it as a coin? And I made this list right here. There's not a tier list, by the way. There's not a list of who's better than who. It's literally just a visual representation of who you should give coins and who you should use coins as in the coin shop, right? So I'll be explaining every unit, of course. I already have it built. Usually I build it in the video. Uh, but I already have it built. I thought it would be better like this. So from the top to bottom, Helbram has not come out yet on global by the time I'm recording, but he will, and his ultimate is really good. That's pretty much why. And one thing that you need to understand about ultimate levels is that an ultimate level gives the character extra 400 combat class. So if you have the character at max ult level, he gets natural extra 2000 combat class, which means a lot in ungeared PvP, and Helbram is a beast in ungeared PvP and you want those 2000. That's why I actually have him in must give. You really need to give him those dupes. The extra combat class will really matter because he has very low combat class. Helbram, the thing with Helbram is that he has very low stats, and to compensate for that, he has a passive that increases his stats by 5% for each surviving ally. So, in reality, in-game, his stats are really high, but for the combat class, the stats are really low. So, the extra dupes really matter, and his ultimate's in AoE. And there's a strategy that he's made for, you kind of need him with a few dupes for it to really work, so you do the ultimates with both him and King, and you wipe out the enemy team. So, giving him dupes is very important. Jericho, hardest hitting nuker in the game until Derriere comes out. She's stupid with damage and must give dupes for her. She's like, her ultimate hits so hard. Like, I was a dummy and I never cared for giving Jericho dupes on JP for a long time. And as soon as I realized how good Jericho was, I was like, dude, I have her at 1-6. I wish I was giving her dupes beforehand. And then luckily the game actually put Jericho in the coin shop, right? Because if you don't know, before a few updates ago, Jericho was not in the coin shop for JP. Now she is, thankfully. So whenever she is in the coin shop, buy her and give her the dupes. Slater, really good for Red Demon. Now, right now, the thing is that I think of longevity, right? Right now, Red Demon using Gustav and Red Elihawk is much better because it's much easier, right? But in the future, when you do use Slater, because Slater is objectively better than Elihawk at completing ages faster, you're gonna want him 6-6, so he one-shots the Red Demon in like the last phase on Hell, or something. He doesn't one-shot, but he does very good damage on Hell, right? Because eventually, you'll start doing Red Demon on Hell, and Hell you can only use blue units, so you need those levels for Slater. So that's why I actually give him that. And also, if you don't know, levels, the ultimate levels, work as extra stats for the linking buddy, so 1% extra for each ult level. So if a unit is 1 out of 6, so one ult level, it only gives 5% base stats to the unit that it's linking with. But if it's 6 out of 6, it gives 10%. And Slater has really good base stats. So having him as a linking buddy is super good. So giving him 6-6 is really good. Same thing for Hauser. Hauser has really good HP as a base stat. So having him at 6-6, you give your linking buddy so much HP. And he's really good with his ults. So here's the thing, Hauser is a really good farming unit. And his ultimate, if you give him a 6-6, can be really helpful for ulting and doing good damage on it. So that's one of the reasons why I actually do think you should give it to him. And again, the linking buddy thing where he does give good stuff. Hauser is a really good unit. I think right now in global, he's not very flashed out because Lilia is not a thing. But when Lilia comes out, and she's a support unit for Hauser and Buldium Meliodas, which is also still not in the game, but he will be like exponentially better for farming. Now talking about the coin shop units, I put it like this because this is of course the purchase order from left to right. Gopher, you should give Gopher his dupes. Gopher, his ultimate doesn't hit hard at all. The thing is that he is a support type unit, but if you have him at 6 out of 6, he does actually start hitting pretty hard, 225%, and he depletes the ultimate gauge. Very helpful for the teams that require ultimates, like the one that he's probably going to be in, which is most of the ones that he participates on. Then King's ultimate is so goddamn strong. Like, the thing is that right now in global, because most people, everyone pretty much is only going to have him at 1-6, you don't really realize how strong his ultimate is, because 420 is not that big of a deal. but 630 or 720 because you want to give him the Fate combo. 720 ignoring resistance is so much damage. On JP, I have him at 6-6, and he one-shots any unit in the game on ungeared. It's so stupid. Like, my team on ungeared PvP revolves around getting his ultimate and one-shotting the enemy team. That's pretty much how I play ungeared, and it's so fun. I really love it, actually. So yeah, I put him number 2. Merlin, for combat class things, she is gonna be mainly a PvP unit that you use in the 4th slot, so giving her extra dupes gives her the extra combat class for your team, and that's why I actually did that. DMLE doesn't need dupes at all, but if you want to give it to him, it's really good for Hell Red Demon, because a lot of times on Hell Red Demon, you're gonna be like, not Red, I'm sorry, Crimson Demon. Hell Crimson Demon, you get very unlucky, and the extra dupes for the extra damage on the ultimate really matter. Let me actually open him up if you've never seen what DMLE does. But DMLE's ultimate is like one of the best ultimates in the game. He does triple damage if the enemy is debuffed. So the multiplier you see right here, just triple it. You know, like having him at 6-6 with Merlin as a Fate combo is just so stupid damage-wise, right? So it's good giving him the dupes for that. Maybe on Hell Crimson you get very unlucky, and maybe the extra dupes will save you. And also in the future, right? Which is one of the reasons I'm working on him right now, currently on JP. He is a good linking buddy for Derriere, because he is a combo, right? Associated with... Oh, it doesn't show here, but he's a linking buddy for Derriere. So I'm giving him the 6-6 because of it, actually, as well. So I think of longevity, you know? DN, just like King, her ultimate hits really hard. Now, the thing with DN is that she kind of falls off a little bit on PvP. Right now on PvP she's a beast, but she kind of falls off a little bit. She's still good, like right now on GP, but she kind of falls off. And then Ban, don't get me wrong, Ban's a really good unit. His ultimate sucks though, so that's why I thought no reason for giving him dupes. So he's like the least one to work on. And then these are units that the ultimates are pretty decent, and if you like the unit, give it to him. It's not a bad idea to give it to him, but if you don't care for it, you can just use it as a coin. Green King, really good. Having his ultimate for the Grey Demon does incredible damage. Merlin is just a solid unit in general. Arthur is a solid unit in general, and he's a good linking buddy because he's Fate with Green Merlin. So in the future, when you do use Merlin in the back, you want to link her up with Arthur for the Fate because of the extra 1000 combat class, and having him at 6-6 will very much help. And then Gilthunder, he does have really good stats, so giving him as a linking buddy is really good. Now, all these units right here, I'm not going to talk too much about them, but I wouldn't worry about giving him dupes. Now, one unit here that you might see, you're going to be like, what? Why Counter Melee is here? Counter Melee is a really good unit, and yes, Counter Melee is a really good unit. His ultimate, though, not the craziest. Like, when you think of Counter Melee, you think of this card. Not this. His ultimate is pretty good, like it stuns, but on PvE, lots of things stop being able to be stunned. Now, cancelling the buffs and stances is really good, but the stun part, not so much. So his ultimate stops being relevant, and most of story from now on that's gonna be releasing on Global, he won't be able to stun anymore. The enemy is just gonna be cleansing that. So it's just not the craziest ultimate. When you think of Counter Melee, his damage comes from the counter, and that's where it pretty much comes from. So the extra damage on the ult, I personally think that you should give the coin to the coin shop. Now, if you want to work on him getting 6-6 because it's a good Fate combo with a few other characters, then it's okay, because he's a combo with DN, isn't he? No, it's Griamore. Who is he a combo with? I don't remember. Is it just Elizabeth? I don't remember who he's a combo with. Interesting. I don't remember, but he probably is combos with a lot of characters, right? So if you want to give him the 6-6 for that, that's okay, but personally, just... He's a really good card. He's a really good unit. But for this, not for this, if you get what I mean. And then all these other ones, like... The unit might be good, but the ultimate is just not something that's necessary. Like, Red Ban is really good and will be really good for Crimson, but not for his ultimate. It's for his attack card. And then same, like, none of these units, the ultimates really matter. So that's why I put him as the coin shop slot. Now talking about SRs, I definitely recommend the 6 SRs. You give them the 6/6 first, and then you use the coins. Because Gilfunder, fantastic PvP unit, really good. Oh, I just punched my mic, my bad. Really good for PvP, really good for raids. So, fantastic unit. Ellie Hawk on Red Demon, you want her to be 6/6 because of her ultimate on the Red Demon, right? You want to do extra damage against the Red Demon, so really necessary. Red Elizabeth, really good 4th slot unit, so you want to have her at the 6/6 for the extra combat class. This guy, you're going to be using him all the time in Red Demon, so if his ultimate does a little bit more damage, that's already good. Slater is a fantastic unit in general. Right now, you might not have much use for him, but you'll see that in the near future, he will have a lot of use. And Red Bond's a fantastic story character unit, so his ultimate hitting harder is just overall much better. And then all these units only bother if you don't need the coins. So, like, maybe the only ones I might think about giving right now on global are like Weinhardt, because he's a very solid unit for farming, but like his ultimate is ass cheeks. It's a single target, so for farming he's just not very good. And then you have like Milios is pretty decent, but nah, like none of these units maybe if you want to level this guy up, what's his name, Grimoire, because he's a combo with DN, right? Maybe you want to 6/6 him, level him up and give a combo, but that's the only reason why I would do that. But it's not a big deal, because in the near future you will be giving those SRs the coins for sure. Just right now, as a beginner player, I'll much rather getting those coins for something else. Like maybe you need pendants for the coin shop, maybe you need to buy dupes for Jericho, dupes for Hauser, you know, that's a much better use of your SR coins. And the R coins as well, buying those AP pots must be much better. So that's the list of units that you should be giving the dupes for. Again, there aren't that many units in the game right now, that's why it's a little tougher, you know, to really talk about it. But in the future, when more units release, I'll update the list. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions of anything, I guess leave in the comments.